Welcome to Payroll Accounting. So this class will either run in 8-week or 16-week formats, depending on the semester that you're taking it. So what I have done is I have broken the class out into 4 different units. The course comes with instant access, which means once you pay your tuition, you automatically have access to all of the online materials, which include your graded assignments, your test, and your textbook. So I will show you where those are located. Here in the Start Here tab, you want to make sure you go into your class syllabus files. So there's the master syllabus, which gives you the course description, and the course objectives, which are the things that we expect you to be able to understand as you walk away from this course at the end of the session. And then your class syllabus will give you your detail files. So I can open this one up again as an example, but you can go through it and you can see the instructor information, the best way to contact me. For me, it's email address, which is listed here. You can message me in Blackboard, but I will respond quicker to an email message than a message in Blackboard. And then we have 3 tests, which I will also show you over in the Lessons tab. You have homework that's worth 150 points, and then a payroll project, which is like your final hands-on project that's worth 150 points. So here it gives you the policies. You do have to complete the payroll project to pass this class. It is like a hands-on project that shows your knowledge of the start to finish payroll process. So how do I input it to determine net pay, to then calculate employees' earnings, to do their W-2s, the W-3, and the quarterly reports. So again, it covers everything that we cover in the class in one project, and we do use Excel as well as the payroll reports that are provided by the government agencies that govern it. And then again, it gives you some additional assessments and withdrawal dates and a calendar. So again, look through yours to make sure you're looking at the current version, but it'll be here in the Start Here syllabus, or I'm sorry, in the Start Here file. Then when we go over to the Lessons tab, again, like I said, I have it broken up into four units. So again, if it was an 8-week class, you're going to have 2 weeks for each unit. If this were a 16-week class, you're going to have 4 weeks for each unit. So obviously the 8-week classes move twice as fast. Now here's a discussion forum that you can go in and you can post any questions that you're having related to any of the homework assignments or the materials that we cover. Or now I think the payroll project, I have a separate discussion one. So I have a separate discussion post for that payroll project. Sometimes that's really where a lot of the questions come into play. So going back here though, if we open our Unit 1, in that Unit 1 file, it's going to give you an overview. What are we covering in this unit? So it's Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. What are our due dates? And then what's coming up in our next unit. So again, we'll have Chapter 1, Chapter 2 and a test, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Test 2, Chapter 5, Chapter 6 will be Test 3, and then Chapter 7 is our payroll project. Within these material folders, you want to open those up because here is the link that takes you into your online textbook. So if you click that, it's going to go into our See Now or Cengage site. And it may take a little bit to load. There's really no points to it, but I've set it up as an assignment just to encourage you to read it and to give you access to the textbook, again, because you don't have a hard copy. So then you want to click here to open it up. It may pop up with some sort of message. They sometimes like to give you little pop-up windows. Okay, but it didn't. Okay, so then it just takes you right into your chapter. So here's like your table of contents. So if you wanted to go, well, hey, I want to just jump right to this section, you can do that. If you don't, again, you can go back to that table of contents and just start. Just say, okay, here's my first page, and just read it just like you would a textbook. So everything's there for you to go back through and to read over. So that is your link to your chapter. Then I have a PowerPoint here, but what I've done is I've done a YouTube video where I talk over the PowerPoint. So like if we were in a face-to-face class, I would put that up over on the board and go through it verbally in front of you. So what I've done is I've created kind of a YouTube video doing that. So you can take the time to watch that. The chapter notes are also here. Those are cover the whole chapter. I feel like they are from the publisher, so that so they cover all the details, and the should kind of go hand in hand with how the chapter is set up. So gives you all your limits and all your in this case it's a lot of the different laws that have been set up to create our payroll protection that we have. So a lot of details in those notes that you can refer back to. And then here's our weekly learning objectives. Excuse me. Those come right from the textbook, and then I have tied them to one of the general learning objectives that's on your master syllabus. And then here's the publisher solutions. If you want to go through any of those end of the chapter questions and problems, the solutions are posted for you. Then if you come over, you have your assignments folder. So this gives you a discussion post, and there's some discussion questions. These are not required. These are will be extra credit for you. If you do them, you'll get up to 10 extra credit points at the end of the semester. I will run a little query that will show me how many posts that you did, and you would get an extra credit point for each one. Now these are actually for a grade, so you want to go in and open those up, and it'll take you again directly into the Cengage See Now site, and you would say start my assignment now, and then you won't be timed, it tells you, but it'll take at least 30 minutes. So I mean, I guess it tries to give you that heads up in case you're sitting there thinking I only have 10 minutes, Okay, so then there it goes, and it's going to start you through these questions. So there'll be, now I think chapter 1, let me go back. Chapter 1 I think only has a couple. Let me go down to chapter 2 and see if because I feel like eventually we're going to get to more homework. Yeah. So chapter 2 is a more comprehensive chapter where there's different computations. So I have more homework for you to do. So you have a study plan, which I think is what I just opened in chapter 1. Then you'll have actual homework, which is going to be comparable to those end of the chapter questions. So I'll open one of these up as well. So if I say start now, again, see, you can see here there's problems and there's review questions. And these are, if you look at the problem here, you should be able to compare that to one that's in the book. So you would also have those publisher solutions for the ones that are in the book. So those could help you complete these homeworks. And you have multiple tries. It's not like you have to take these all at once. Your test is the only thing you have to submit in one sitting. Then I tried to incorporate Excel because your project at the end of the term is going to be in Excel. So I want you to have some experience as you're working through your homework, kind of how do they set these Excel spreadsheets up. And then here they give you the data for this problem, and you're going to open that spreadsheet. And it already has a template. So you just want to be able to play around in it and look to see, here it gives you the formulas. I think it's showing you what is in there. It's like, so if I want to say my gross earnings are this times this, let's see what it does to that. Okay, so then it shows you your formula. So it's just trying to encourage you to don't just manually do it on a calculator and put it in there, but actually set your formulas up and play around with Excel a little bit. So the more comfortable you can get with Excel, the better. So that I've tried to do in Excel for each chapter. Then the mastery question, again, is like after you've done everything, have you really mastered these concepts? Do you understand? This continuing project problem is for extra credit. And I kind of continue it with each chapter. I'll assign that continuing problem, but it should be extra credit then. I may have to manually update the Blackboard gradebook for that, but it'll eventually come in to increase your grade. So that's how all the chapters 2 through 6 will be set up. There'll be all these different categories of homework. Chapter 1, because it's more the laws and not computations, is a little bit different. So then you can expect that in each one of these Unit 1, 2, and 3 to be set up that same way, where you have a chapter materials and you have chapter assignment. And my expectations is that you look through all of the materials that I provide for you, listen to my YouTube video where I'm explaining the concepts, and then do those homework assignments, and then post any questions as you're working through them. And feel free to help each other in that discussion forum. If you know the answer or you want to help somebody, please do so. Then the payroll project is at the end, and I have a separate YouTube video to help you understand that. It's very detailed. It is in our Chapter 7. So Chapter 7 is the payroll project. So you're going to go through Chapter 7 to go date by date, paragraph by paragraph, what's happening. And then I give you a sample. My sample is very basic. It's just kind of showing you how you move from one tab to the other, like in Excel, and then how you use your final Excel to create the payroll files. But I'll open up the template. So here you can see it's very large, and it's all created for you, and they give you the first payroll is given to you. So you can use this kind of as your model to make sure that your future payrolls all are set up that same way. So there's an instruction tab here again, which tells you some of the things that are set up in the formulas. It gives you a sample again of that first payroll. This is what the journal entries will be. So then you have to just continue with all those future payrolls until you get to the end of the year, doing your journal entries in the same manner. Then you post those. It's not into T accounts, but it's into like the general ledger detail. So then here, if you read the top, this is what if it affects cash. So when I look back through my journal, I look for cash and I put it in there. So again, you'll complete the payroll register, you'll complete the journal, the general journal, and then you will fill in these earnings records. If you want to link those back to your payroll register, if you have more advanced Excel skills, you can do that. If not, you're going to transfer all the data from your payroll register onto your payroll earnings. And then it's basically this payroll earnings and the payroll register that we use to create the reports that are in the second submission. So again, you just want to look around this Excel, understand, like as I look at this cell, there are formulas already built in for me. And then over here, there's checkpoints. Now, the reason I give you a little warning about these checkpoints is if you're a penny off, it will tell you it's incorrect. So try not to get too hung up on the checkpoints. Like, don't let it stall you out. It's there to help you, not to hinder you. So again, just kind of keep trucking through it. You can always go back and tweak it up before you submit it to me. And then that'll be the first submission. Then once those are done and I give you some feedback, you will use them to create your W-2 for each employee, your W-3, your 1099, your 1096, and you will submit all of those for 50 points. And then the quarterly tax returns. So our unemployment tax and our regular employment tax, our Social Security and Medicare taxes, our unemployment taxes, and our state withholdings. And then those will be submitted for a separate 50 points. So I just want to warn you though, as you get to this section, this is very work heavy. You want to allot yourself plenty of time. Don't look at it and say, oh, it's not due till Sunday night at midnight. I'll start it Sunday at noon. I mean, you need that week. I'm giving you 2 full weeks to do the one week for the Excel and then another week for those reports. And it literally is going to take you those whole weeks. So again, don't wait till the last minute to do those or you're going to end up in trouble. And it's designed to test your knowledge. So if you are an accounting major and you want to know how to do payroll and you want to feel confident when you go to your employer, take this project very seriously. Spend the time that is intended to do it well. And again, because it's like your final hands-on type project and is required for the course. So that is pretty much the course in a nutshell. Just every week look for my announcements, read through them, and make sure you go to the calendar tab. If you go to the calendar tab, you'll see all your due dates. they're not populating for me. I have a feeling that normally in your course, the due dates are going to populate right on here. I'll double check why my little course here is not doing that, but they should populate there as well as the dates that are in your class syllabus. Okay, so good luck, and I will see you in class.